Sa House hearing noong June 26, 2020, isa sa mga highlights ay si Alan Peter Cayetano. Pinag-uusapan nila kung paano matulungan ang mga OFWs. Tingnan po natin kung ano ang nangyari sa House hearing.
I'd like to start with a verse that I think is very apt sa atin, regardless kung ano yung religion natin. I appeal to you, brothers and sisters, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, that all of you agree with one another in what you say, and that there be no divisions among you, but that you may be perfectly united in mind and thought. I'd like to start out by saying, ito ang dapat pag-isipan ng gobyerno ngayon. Marami po na nasa kwartong ito, nasa bulwagan ito, ay nakahawak ng iba't ibang posisyon sa gobyerno. Our chairman was secretary of 2 departments and was a 3-term congressman. No? Our majority leader sa private sector is also a leader. Alam niyo po, ang makikita natin sa private sector, may tendency to come together with a comprehensive and integrated plan. Sa gobyerno, may tendency tayo na iba programa ng DSWD, iba programa ng OWA, iba programa ng DFA, iba ang programa ng TESDA, which is okay as long as it's integrated at nag-uusap. I have to express my disappointment that after the first very successful interagency meeting of all departments and agencies that have to do with OFWs na ginawa natin sa DFA, hindi na to naulit. So I beseech the DFA and DOLE to come together, ipatawag lahat ng agencies, hindi pwedeng sabihin nagkikita na kayo sa IATF. No? So at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, ano ang tingin sa gobyerno? Bureaucratic, turf war, politika, not trusting each other, wag nyo kaming pakialaman dito? Or at the end of the day, magsasama-sama ba para talagang magkaroon ng solusyon? Having said that, we're one body. Sakit ng kalingkingan, sakit ng buong katawan. May it be the DSWD, DOLE, DFA, ating mga polo, ating ATN officers or assistants to nationals, no? We don't want to be insensitive. We know ilan sa inyo, napakarami sa inyo, nagkasakit na, nahawa sa COVID. Marami sa inyo pwede nang umuwi, pero pinipilit nyo pa rin na magtrabaho kahit may sakit. Yung iba po sa inyo nasa war-torn areas, hindi kayo umaalis kasi ayaw umalis ng ating mga kababayan. Ganon din sa DSWD, no? Napagsalitaan man namin na mga kailangan ayusin, ay hindi po namin inaalis talaga yung inyong heroism during this time. And parang on cue, no, na dumating naman ang ating mahal na Secretary, Sec Sylvester Bebot Bello, our former colleague dito sa House, and belated happy birthday po, Sec. Ako po, personal witness na pag nasa aeroplano kami ni Sec pupunta sa ibang bansa, binibigay niya phone number niya sa lahat eh. Pareho sila ni Senator Bongo. So simula sa pag-check-in hanggang pagka wala ng airwaves, wala ng cell waves sa aeroplano, si Sec Bello po, kausap pa rin yung mga OFW leaders natin. But I was saying, Sec, sana maulit yung ating interagency, no? At talagang magkaroon ng comprehensive plan ang lahat. Kasi hindi kaya ng DFA lang, hindi kaya ng OWA, hindi kaya ng DOLE, ng TESDA, diba? And this time, it's not a crisis only for OFWs, but for all Filipinos and all citizens of this world, no? One thing I think we can learn at this time of lockdowns and quarantines is the importance of community and family, diba? Hindi pwedeng DFA family lang, o DOLE family, o DSWD. Isang pamilya tayo. The importance of having someone to talk to, makakwentuhan lang, to be with, to help us in our time of need. Of course, no hugging, no shaking of hands, no? Pero still, just being there for each other. We've all heard the heartbreaking stories of the sick dying alone, of families having to say goodbye to a loved one through video calls or text messages, or more painfully, hindi man lang nakapagbabay at sasabihin kailangan i-cremate kasi hindi sure kung anong kinamatayan, at hindi man lang makapagpaalam, diba, sa kanilang loved ones. COVID-19 or the new coronavirus tested the bonds that held us together, and it continues to test us. And in fact, it will tempt us to turn against each other in this time. But even as the virus tears us apart, it has shown us that we have to pull together as one body. We cannot do this by ourselves. The scale and magnitude of the crisis demands that we work together. If we are going to survive, there are two ways to do it. Either we have a united response to heal and to recover as one, or we die alone. Hindi pa nga we die as one or we die together. No? We die as one. Ganun po kalungkot. Doon lang po. Walang black and white lang po to. We heal as one, we recover as one, or we die alone. We are calling for this hearing today to address one area of our COVID response that Congress feels can be done better, but we also feel na may maitutulong din kami, our dear Secretary and USEC. No? We feel that before we rush po namin to, and we thank you for being here because we will be discussing bayanihan too soon. And we want to ask you, anong kailangan nyo para sa mga OFWs para kung may ilalagay natin doon, magkakaroon tayo ng solusyon at hindi kuro-kuro lang kung anong dapat gawin. It has been more than 3 decades since we started sending Filipinos abroad to rebuild our economy. And for the past 30 years, they have been doing their part, faithfully sending product of their blood, sweat, and tears to feed their family and provide fuel for the country's economic engines. The question is, are we doing enough for our OFWs? Are we doing enough for our country and our communities? Thus, can you show the slide, please? Now, the question again, are we doing enough for our modern day heroes, our overseas Filipino workers? Next slide. So we'd like to discuss with you, para lang po, at pinakiusap ko rin po to kay Chairman Alvarado at Chairman Defensor, that we talk about these issues: relief, repatriation, recovery, return, reintegration. So nung bata po tayo, Sec Bebot, di ba, 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic. Ngayon naman sa OFW, subject to yung amendment ninyo, baka we can separate the issues to relief, repatriation, recovery, return, reintegration. Definitely po, dun sa recovery, reintegration, kailangan natin ang TESDA, kailangan natin ang Co-op Development Authority, kailangan natin ang mga bangko sa MSMEs, kailangan natin ang DOST, etc. Sa return, definitely ang DOTR. So I hope they're all joining us via Zoom, Mr. Chairman, para nga hindi to usapan ng DOLE lang at saka DFA, kundi usapan to ng buong sambayanan. Next slide. So quickly, Mr. Chairman, we want to examine the level of response of government agencies in assisting OFWs in countries of destination to their eventual reintegration. Second, to determine the real numbers of OFW returning in the next 3 months and specific and clear government plans. Alam po namin na estimates lang to, but at least po kung ma-estimate natin, mahanda na natin ang pera, and as the good secretary knows, magsasubmit na sa DBM ng budget for 2021, and ako po ang witness na parating sinasabi ni Sec Bello na kulang ang pera para sa OFWs. Na-witness ko po yun sa kabinete, so baka this time around, mapakinggan kayo at ma-address to sa 2021 budget. To determine the assistance needed by OFWs, we have to decide, who have decided to stay in their countries of destination during this pandemic. So again, let's be sensitive to yung polo officers natin, mga taga-DFA, mga attaché natin na nandun sa abroad. Yes, kailangan ng Pilipino ng tulong, pero Pilipino din sila at kailangan din po natin silang alagaan at ibigay ang kanilang pangangailangan. Fourth, to listen to various stakeholders involving our OFW response, embassies, the Philippine Overseas Labor Offices, OWA, but very importantly, the OFW themselves. No? Then, to determine the budgetary requirements for each agency. No? Hindi ko na, next slide. Hindi ko na po babasahin to isa-isa because I think between Chairman Mike Defensor and Chairman Jonathan Alvarado po, ay hihimay nila yung issue ng relief, repatriation. But gusto ko lang banggitin that right now, again, we're doing a lot. Kulang. We don't want to be insensitive sa frontliners sa OFWs, but di ba, pag nanood ka ng TV, people are being displaced, nasa stranded sila, whether doon abroad or sa airport na kung saan nagpapalit ng plane or dito sa Metro Manila. By the time na lumabas yung test, lampas na 14 days, may mga ibang area na hindi rin ready, so hindi sila matanggap. The lockdowns of respective host countries left us helpless. Travel restrictions and curfews affected our delivery of services. Nabawasan ng pondo yung DFA, so yung Embassy on Wheels, apektado. Funds ng OWA at saka DFA ATN, mabilis na uubusan. Pag pinakita yung kina-quarantine dito, minsan filthy and shabby hostels, lack of quarantine facilities. We have a personal experience, yung isang tinuturing ng ate ko na anak din niya, na stewardess. Hindi niya alam na kailangan siya i-quarantine because umuwi siya not as an official, nag-leave siya sa trabaho. So pagdating dito, sinabi sa airport, hindi ka pwedeng umuwi, dinala sa isang hotel. Pagdating sa hotel, sinabi, this is for your own protection, pero sinama siya sa isang roommate na hindi niya kilala. And after a few hours, na-sort out, so separate sila lahat. The next day, napadala ng picture sa akin, nakita yung manager ng hotel at yung dalawang nag-aasikaso, naka-shorts, nakaupo, naka-tsinelas, nasa tabi. So I really think that, this might be 1%, it might be 10%. I know there are a lot of good examples. But I think pagdating sa OFWs, we have to work harder na mag 100% to. Again, I hope the Department of Tourism is here. Again, they've done a lot, but there are also some examples na nagkulang yung supervision sa mga hotel na katulad nung binanggit ko, no? Yung iba, 'di ba, yung kulang din sa drinking water o kaya common din yung mga paliguan, but yung iba naman na naayos right away, 'di ba? Issues with balik probinsya, transportation problem, stranded for weeks, for months, rejection by LGUs, discrimination of health workers or of OFWs who are returning, lack of jobs, bumalik kaya hindi nakakuha ng SAP dahil kakabalik lang nila or nasa stranded pa sila, no? So, at the end of the day, we want to see the reverse. Efficient and fast delivery of secure jobs, safe repatriation, chartered flights, sufficient and clean quarantine, seamless passage of OFW quarantine, no? So, at the end of the hearing, we would like to see an integrated solution, comprehensive solution, a workable plan, no? We are calling for the hearing today to address one area of our COVID response that Congress feels we have to do better. I reiterated that, no, read it again. It is the area of our OFWs, di ba? Sa mga kababayan natin na OFWs, saksi kami lahat sa lungkot at dusa na tiniis nyo dyan araw-araw sa ikaunlad ng inyong mga pamilya at ng inyong bansa. Not only when I was in the DFA. In 1998, I was a member of Congress, Asian crisis. 2008, I was in the Senate. 2007, yung financial crisis sparked by the crisis in the US. Sino nagtumulong sa ating bansa? Sino naging miracle worker sa ating ekonomiya? OFW. So ngayon na may crisis, yes, overwhelming, lahat po apektado, but it's time naman na ipakita natin sa OFWs na yung sakripisyo nila ay pinahahalagaan natin. So to my fellow government workers, let's as always be reminded that when our country needed them most, they were there. Now is the time that they need us. They saved the country, now we have to save them. Sir Chairman, I also ask that we include not only the oversight powers of the Committee on Public Accounts, but that with the help also of Congressman Eric Yap, we determine the budgetary requirements and for the Bayanihan 2 and also for the 2021 budget or any other special law that OWA, POEA, DFA, and all the agencies will need in the reintegration of our OFWs. Maraming salamat at magandang hapon, Mr. Chairman.
Narinig niyo na ang talumpati ni Alan Peter Cayetano. Mag-comment down below sa inyong opinion tungkol dito. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Donmar TV. And click the notification bell para ma-update kayo sa mga videos ko. See you in the next video. Happy Sunday, Philippines!